Hi there. Welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. For today's Pilates conditioning class, we are going to be working into the whole body, getting into all those nooks and crannies. We'll be spending the majority of our time low to the mat. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify if need be, and pause the stream should you need to take a rest. You ready to do this? Let's hit the mat. We're going to set up for today's class coming into a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. Find your way down onto all fours, hands stacking underneath your shoulders, knees stacking underneath your hips. Give me a long line through the spine, so check that you're not collapsing through the arms. Push the mat away, lengthen through your spine, keep your belly button firmly pulled in to center. Let's start on the right side of the body. You're going to drag the big toe along the mat, coming into extension with that toe set up behind the right hip. You're going to lift the leg up, arcing it over to tap behind the left hip, and then you're going to arc back to your start position. Let's do that 10 times. Big arc up and an arc back to start position. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. As you complete the last one, draw the leg back to its start position and keep the integrity of your frame. Keeping your gaze down on the mat between the two thumbs, you're going to lift your right arm up in line with your ear without popping and rotating through the shoulders or the pelvis. You're going to swim the arm back alongside your right hip and back to your start position. So you're just going to keep rinsing and repeating, sweeping the arm back and forth, starting alongside your ear and then sweeping the arm alongside your hip. I'm going to call that 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Come back to your all 4-point kneeling frame. We're going to play with the leg on the left. Keep that beautiful long line through the spine. Drag the left big toe into extension. You're going to lift the leg up to tap behind your right hip and arc back to your start position. 1, 2, 3. Keep your weight distribution equal on all 4 points of contact. Keep that long line through your spine. 7, 8, 9. Last one. As you complete the last one, draw back into your 4-point kneel. Extend the left arm so that it's alongside your left ear. Don't pop and rotate through the hips or the shoulder. Sweep the arm back alongside your hip and back to your start position. 1, 2. Keep your gaze down on the mat. Keep that long line through the spine. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. As you complete the last one, give me a fisted line on the mat, or you can give me a flat hand. You're going to tuck your toes under, and we're going to do some hovering knee taps on the floor. Lift, hold, and hover your knees off the floor, then tap them to the mat and draw back. We're going to tap 10 times. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, you're going to step back into a plank hold, sliding back one leg at a time, and you're going to hold your plank steady for 10 seconds. Don't collapse through the arms. I want you to push the mat away strongly. Brace your core, brace the tops and the back of your thighs. 5, 4, 3, 2. Bend the knees in one at a time, keeping the toes tucked under for me. We're coming into some dynamic side stretch. You're going to come up into a nice high kneel, shoulders, hips, and knees stacked in one long line. Arms beginning, palms down on the top of your thighs. Take a big breath in. On an exhale, dip off the center line and float the arms back to come back to your start position. You're going to shoot for between 5 and 10 repetitions, not collapsing your frame and dropping your bum. Giving me a nice long stretch through the top of your thighs, all the way to just below your breast line. I'm going to call that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last one. You're going to ease your way from here back onto the hands. And you can take your hand position a little bit wider than shoulder width apart this time. You're going to bend the legs behind you, crossing at the ankles. So you can bring the knees in a little bit closer if you need to. We're going to work a modified push-up. And you can allow the elbows to track out on this one. We're going to try and bring our torso, the chest and the chin, as close to the floor as possible. Bending through the elbows to touch your chin to the floor if you can. You're going to shoot for between 5 and 10 repetitions. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, as you come down, you're going to ease your way onto the chest. Legs are long and lengthened in parallel. You're going to open up your arms into a little cactus frame. We're going to play with a little back extension. Think of this as a modified cobra. Legs stay long and relaxed on the mat. You're going to drop your forehead to the mat and pretend that you've got a little marble underneath your nose. Roll the marble away from you to the front of the mat and at the same time start floating the arms off the mat, stopping in a baby cobra line with your bottom ribs still connected to the mat. Extend through the spine and then think of your 2 shoulder blades. Squeeze them together as if you wanted to crack a walnut and then weightlessly float the whole body back down to your start position, nose tucked under, elbows connected to the floor. We're going to start playing with that movement with fluidity and we're going to shoot for 10 repetitions. Float up, find your cobra line, crack the walnut, come back down to your start position. Float up, crack the walnut, bring it back down. Make sure that you're bringing the body up in unison and holding the frame or pausing in the frame before you squeeze that little walnut between the 2 shoulder blades. I'm going to call that 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. As you complete the last one, you're going to gently roll over onto your side, stacking your body in a beautiful long line, either using your bottom arm as a long extended pillow line, or you can give me a small prop for more work through the trunk. You're going to begin with your body long and lengthened, hips, knees, and ankles in a long stacked line. You're going to lift, hold, and hover your legs off the floor. Legs are in a soft parallel line. Give me a soft toe line, trying to tap the wall at the opposite end of the room and hold. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Last one, you're going to lift and lower the legs in unison, keeping the same amount of space between the legs, almost giving me a little pinch at the top hip to float the legs up and bring them back down to the mat without allowing your feet to tap on the mat. I'm going to call that 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Come back to your start position, and with the toes together, trace a small little circle. Keep moving in the same direction, moving the feet in unison and trying to keep the same amount of distance between the legs as you circle out. Once you've done 5 traces in one direction, you're going to change it up and you're going to gently trace in the opposite direction. One more trace. You're going to connect the bottom leg to the mat. Focus on the top leg. Bend the top knee. Drag the big toe along the inseam of the bottom leg. Kick up towards the ceiling. Then bend the top knee and drag back out to your start position. You're going to rinse and repeat. Drag to kick up. Drag to extend back. Drag to kick up. Drag to extend. Drag to kick up. Drag to extend. I'm going to call that 6, 5. The whole time that you're playing, you're not allowing your body to lean forward or to fall back on the mat. You're trying to keep that stack through the body. Let's do 2 more. Last one, then we'll change our orientation on the mat slightly. Bring both legs up so that the toes are pointing to the corner of your mat. Bump your bum back, trying to connect it to the back edge of the mat, and then extend the bottom arm so that it's hovering over the front edge of the mat. So your body should be in a little triangular frame. Almost think of yourself as a little boomerang. You're going to float the top arm up and allow it to just gently cup over your ear. We're going to move the top arm and the top leg. You're going to sweep the 2 limbs together, trying to tap them along the midline, and then float back to your start position. Little oblique tap. You're going to give me 10 repetitions. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. You're going to change your leg line on the mat, coming back to your small prop. You're going to bend the knees and line up your heels with an extension of your back line. We're going to come into some clam progressions. You're going to begin keeping the feet together as you open and close through the knees. Don't drive the movement through the knees. Pretend that you've got a little piece of string through the belly button that's connecting the inner thighs and the lower abdominal area. I'm going to call that 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to change it up. The next time you open the knees, lift your feet off the mat and then close and bring it down. Open, lift, close and down. Every time you open, you give me a nice little diamond frame between the legs before closing the knees again. I'm going to call that 5, 4, 3, 2. You're going to end in that little diamond frame. Keep the bottom leg stable as you drop the top knee towards the bottom knee and then float back to your diamond frame. Let's do 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, come back to your diamond frame. Big toes are touching. There's a little bit of a space between your heels. You're going to float the top leg up to the ceiling and tap back out. Bottom leg stays locked in position as you extend and bend through the top leg. Top leg should be speaking to you. I'm going to call that 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. You're going to close your clamshell. You're going to push up. You're going to give me a little swivel on the mat, and you're going to set yourself up on side 2 to rinse and repeat that side work on the mat. Coming to a nice extended line, giving me a long pillow on the bottom arm or a small prop. Stack your body, make sure you're not leaning into the mat or rolling back. Lift, hold, and hover those legs. Trying to keep the same amount of distance between the two legs and reaching with your toes as if you were trying to tap the wall at the opposite end of the room. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. You're going to lift and dip. Lift and dip. Try to keep the distance between the two legs the same. Keep reaching softly with your toes, almost as if somebody was standing at the opposite end of your mat and gently tugging on your toes. And you're trying to give me a long line from your hip to the toe. Let's do 2 more, and then we'll circle out. Come back to your start position. Trace a little circle. Keep moving in the same direction. And the circle doesn't need to be big. You can use the diameter of maybe a large tennis ball as your guideline. Try to trace at least 5 circles in one direction and then change it up, moving the feet in unison and begin tracing in the opposite direction. Inhale for half of your circle and then exhale for the other half so that you don't rush through that little circular drive. Once you've completed your repetitions, you're going to come back to a long line on the mat, relax your bottom leg, focus on the top leg. Bend the top knee, drag the big toe along the inseam of the bottom leg, kick up towards the ceiling, and then bend the top leg and drag back out to your start position. Drag up, kick up, drag down, extend. Drag up, kick up, drag down, extend. I'm going to call that 7, 6. Keep that beautiful stack. Don't roll your body forwards or backwards. 4, 3, 2. Last one. As you complete the last one, you're going to bring both feet together and place them at the bottom top edge of your mat. You're going to bump your bum back so that you're on the bottom, or rather the back edge of your mat, and you're going to extend your bottom arm, hovering it over the front corner of the mat. Find that little triangular shape on the mat. Place your head softly down on the bottom arm and just cup your top arm over your ear. Take a big breath in to prepare. On the exhale, float the 2 top limbs together to tap along the midline and then float back to your start position. Nice little bit of oblique work, and try to pause here for a second before you float back to the mat. I'm going to call that 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. As you complete the last one, set up a little clamshell on the mat by bending the legs together, lining up your heels with an extension of your spinal line, and then come back to that small prop on the bottom arm, making sure that you're not leaning into the mat or falling backwards. You're going to begin opening and closing the legs while keeping the feet softly clipped together. Feel that work through the inner thighs, feel that little wrap around into the outer thighs, and feel that lower belly work. Let's do 4, 3, 2. We're going to change it up. The next time you open the knees, lift the feet, close and down. Open, lift, close and down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You're going to end high, keeping that little diamond frame between the 2 legs. You're going to lock the bottom leg in position as you lift and lower the top leg. So you almost resemble a little windscreen wiper. I'm going to call that 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, As you complete the last one, keep the two big toes together, float the top leg up and then tap back out. So just the top leg moving, bottom leg locked in position. I'm going to call that 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. As you complete the last one, gently close your clamshell and roll over onto your back, setting yourself up in the middle of the mat. Bend the knees, connect the soles of the feet to the mat, almost as if you were setting up for a bridge line. You're going to float your arms overhead, palms looking into the center line. Make sure that you drop and weight your shoulder blades into the mat and keep them weighted. Float your legs softly up to the 90 line. And if you are feeling the lower back, you can either tuck your hands palms down underneath your bum or take a soft hand towel and just make a little wedge underneath the bottom. You're going to keep your left leg locked in position as you lower the right leg, maybe stopping at 75 if you're feeling the lower back, or keep coming all the way down to hover just off the floor and then float back to your start position. So you're going to lower or drop and lift that right leg, and you're going to shoot for anywhere between 5 and 10 repetitions. I'm going to call that 6, 5, 4. Keep your chin line soft, keep your neckline soft. We're going to do one more on this side, then we're going to change sides. Keep your frame stable, so those shoulder blades stay connected to the mat. Arms are not moving, they're locked in position. You're bracing softly through the core, and you're using the area south of your belly button to pull that leg back to your start position. Keep your chin line soft, keep your neckline soft, so don't tense the jaw. Let's do 3 more. As you complete your last one, keep your current frame. Take a big breath in, scoop to peel up off the shoulders, and reach through your toes and your fingers as if you wanted to tap the ceiling. So you've got quite an acute U shape in the belly area. Reach and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2. Gently peel back down to your start position on the mat, keeping your hands floating, or you can tuck the hands palms down underneath the bum if you need to. You're going to crisscross, flutter the legs as you slowly lower them down, either stopping at 75 and then coming back up to your start position, or you're going to keep coming all the way down as far as you can, maybe hovering just off the floor before you retrace your steps. You're going to play with that movement dynamically. I'm setting a moderate pace, but I want you to find a controlled pace of your own, crisscrossing the legs down and then back up. Make sure that you're not feeling the lower back. So if you are feeling the lower back, tuck the hands, palms down underneath your bottom, and perhaps work with a smaller range of motion, beginning with the legs at 90 and then maybe only taking it as far as 75 before peeling back up to your start position. Listen to your body. Remember, we set this theme at the beginning of the week. Vipassana, connect, listen to your body, modify your movements according to the feedback that your body is giving you. We're going to do one more. Crisscrossing up and down with the legs. As you come back to your start position, if you had the hands behind your bum, you're going to keep them there. Alternatively, you can place the hands palms down on the floor alongside your body. We're going to play with a little tailbone lift. You can start by dropping your toes just behind your 90 line, then drag the toes through the 90 line, lifting your tailbone softly off the mat to peel back to your start position. So quite a lot of work south of the belly button. And you can shoot for anywhere between 5 to 10 repetitions. Keeping your arms softly bracing into the floor, lifting that tailbone up, almost as if you were trying to tap your toes to the ceiling before softly floating back to your start position. And it's the comeback, the slow roll back onto your tailbone that's more important than the little lift. As you complete the last one, bend the knees and connect the soles of the feet to the mat. Feet and knees are about hip width distance apart. Find your frame on the mat. Begin in neutral spine. We're going to play with a slow abdominal contraction, and we're going to use our breath to set the pace and to force us to hold that contraction a little bit longer. Take a big breath in to prepare. You're beginning in a neutral spine position with a little space between your lower back and the mat. Big breath in to prepare, filling your lungs to maximum capacity. On an exhale, you're going to scoop and round up, holding that scooped off-center frame for as long as you've got exhale. Then peel back down to the mat. Fill up to capacity. We're going to come up on the left. Reaching with your fingertips. Peel back down to the mat, fill up to maximum capacity. We're going to do 2 to the middle. Your first exhale, take it low, as close between the inner thighs as you can manage. Peel back down, fill up. Your next one to the middle is high up at about knee height. Exhale as you come up. We're going to rinse and repeat that whole sequence, moving with fluidity and holding the contraction for at least 5 seconds, focusing on a long exhale. Big breath in. Come up on the right. Peel down, fill up. Come up on the left. Peel down, fill up, come up between the thighs, low. Reaching through, tap the wall in front of you. Inhale, come down. Come up high in the middle. Big breath in, peel back down. Come up on the right. Peel back down, fill up. Come up on the left. Peel back down, fill up. Come up in the middle. Low to the thighs. Peel back down, fill up. Come up in the middle, high at about knee height. Peel back down to the mat, hug the knees in towards your chest, and give me 5 little spinal rolls. Rounding out through the spine in a nice C curve, rocking back as far as your shoulder blades, and then back up to your start position. If you find this too rigorous, stay on the back, gently cradle rock side to side, and then push up into a standing position. You're going to use your momentum on the last rock to brace your hands into the mat. Pull your weight forward, making your crown heavy to the floor. Come into a soft forward fold, bending and extending, keeping the hands connected to the mat if you can, or maybe placing your hands on the shins or the thighs as you bend and extend. From here, we're going to ease our way into a standing frame on the mat. You're going to ragdoll style peel up. Change your orientation on the mat so that you can stand in a wide straddle with your feet pointing towards the corners of the mat, and you're going to float the hands into prayer overhead. We're going to play with a little dynamic modified standing lunge. You're going to bend the right leg, allowing the knee and the toe to track to the corner of the mat as you open up the arms into a soft T, palms down, and then float back to your start position. You're going to alternate left and right, just giving me almost a soft V shape through the legs to begin, with the toes looking to the corner of the mat, and then just open up into a soft lunge. As you find the inner thighs begin warming up, you can very surreptitiously start creeping your feet along the mat and perhaps start opening up the legs into a wider V. But don't force it. Just do it softly in little increments so that you find that beautiful opening happening through the groin. Let's do one more to each side. Then we'll square up the feet. Think prasarita, weight bearing on the toes, wrapping around the outer quadrant of the feet to the heels. Open up the legs as wide as you can, maybe placing the hands on the top of your thighs, running the hands down, and then trying to connect your palms to the mat. Take a little stretch here, dragging the weight forward, and then back into the heels. Find a midway point comfortably between the balls and the heels and hold that stretch. Then we're going to take it into a gentle twist to the left. You're going to cross your left hand over the right hand, trying to plant the palm firmly in the mat, and just take a soft rotational twist, throwing up the left arm behind you to peek gently up towards the ceiling. Weight bearing equal on your feet, inner thighs engaged. Don't allow your tummy to hang on the floor. Pull that belly button in. Come back to your start position on the mat with both hands stacking underneath your shoulders, and take the twist in the opposite direction. Cross the left hand over the right, and then on an exhale, take a soft rotational twist to the right, throwing the right arm up, peeking up towards the ceiling. Make sure the weight bearing on the feet is equal, inner thighs committed, core committed. From here, you're going to softly rotate to the right, relaxing your back, knee, and foot, and ease your way back to your original position, original start position on the mat in 4-point kneeling with the hands stacking underneath your shoulders. Lengthen through your spine, keep your gaze down on the mat. Drag the right leg behind you, toes starting in line with your hip. You're going to arc the leg up and over to tap behind the opposite hip. We're going to move with fluidity as we run through that whole circuit again, lifting and lowering the leg, shooting for 10 repetitions. I'm moving at a slightly brisker pace. You can slow it down and move with less repetitions if you need to. Once you've completed 10 arcing lifts on side one, you're going to draw back to your 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. Steady through the shoulders and the hips as you lift and raise the right arm up and swim it back. Arcing in half a circular motion, beginning alongside your ear and sweeping back as if you wanted to tap the wall behind you. I'm going to call that 4, 3, 2, keep that long line through the spine, keep your belly button pulled in, come back to 4-point kneeling, extend the left leg long and lengthen behind you, raise the leg up to arc up and over, tapping behind the opposite hip, shooting for 10 repetitions. Keep your neckline strong, keep your belly button pulled in. I'm going to call that 4, 3, 2. Last one, you're going to ease your way back to 4-point kneeling. Float the left arm up alongside your left ear and then swim or arc the arm back in half a circular trace to come back to your start position. Big sweeping motion, lengthening through the fingertips the whole time that you're playing, almost trying to grow that limb in length. Keeping your frame steady, your neckline long, and your belly button pulled in. I'm going to call that 4, 3, 2. Last one, we're going to come into some hovering knee taps from here. Tuck your toes under, fisted or flat hand, hover your knees off the floor, tap them to the mat, and then draw back to your start position, shooting for 10 rapid repetitions. I'm going to call that 7, 6, 5, don't collapse through the shoulders, 3, 2, Last one, you're going to come into a plank hold from here, extending one leg at a time and holding for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Last one. Draw in the knees one at a time, keeping the toes tucked under. We're coming into a dynamic side stretch. Kneel up nice and high, arms on the top of your thighs. Dip off the center line, bringing the arms up at about shoulder height to float back down to your start position. Let's call that 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Drop back into a rougher 4-point kneeling frame, but maybe take the hands a little bit wider if you need to. Cross at the ankles. You're going to give me a modified push-up. You're bending at the elbows. You can allow the elbows to track out because we're taking it quite wide, and you're trying to tap your chin, your nose, or your chest to the floor. So coming as low as you are capable of, shooting for roughly 5 to 10 repetitions. Once you've completed your repetitions, make your way down onto the belly. We're going to play with that modified cactus little cobra line. Find your cactus line through the arms. Legs are long and relaxed behind you. Tuck that little marble underneath your nose. Roll the marble away, peeling up into a baby cobra line with the bottom rib connected and the arms floating. Squeeze the walnut between your shoulders and then come back to your start position. Moving with fluidity. Pausing in your little hovering frame before cracking the walnut and then floating back down to your start position. 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep growing from your lower back towards the nape of your neck so the gaze stays down on the mat as you play. Let's do one more and then we'll roll over onto the side. Roll over onto your side, finding a small prop on the bottom arm. Lift, hold, and hover your legs for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Last one, you're going to lift and dip, lift and dip, lift and dip. Keep those toes long and lengthened. We're going to morph from here into a little circular trace, moving the legs in unison, tracing a little circle in one direction. Keep moving in the same direction. And once you've traced 5 circular patterns in one direction, you're going to mix it up and move in the opposite direction. Once you've traced 5 in each direction, you're going to ground the bottom leg into the mat. You're going to bend the top knee, drag the big toe, kick the leg up, and then drag back out to your start position, shooting for 10 repetitions. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2. We're going to change our orientation on the mat. Find that little boomerang frame, bumping your bum back towards the back edge, bringing the feet towards the front end and the bottom arm towards the front end. Frame your ear on the top and then float the top 2 limbs together to tap along the midline of the body, pausing for a second or 2 before floating back to your start position. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, we're going to clam line out from here. Bend your legs, find your stack, small little prop on the bottom arm. Make sure your heels are lined up with your extension of the spinal line. You're going to begin opening and closing the legs, keeping the feet together. Going to call that 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You're going to begin lifting the feet as you open the knees and then bringing everything down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold your diamond frame, lock the bottom leg in position and just the top knee dropping and coming back to its start position. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Keep that diamond frame between your two legs, tapping the two big toes together before floating the top leg up as if you wanted to tap or kick the ceiling and then floating softly back to your start position. I'm going to call that 5, 4, 3. Sure, that top leg should be speaking at you, maybe cussing at you slightly. We're going to swivel on the mat and we're going to set ourselves up to rinse and repeat that sequence on the other side. Find your long line on the mat, small prop on the bottom arm, lift and hover those legs, trying to tap the wall at the opposite end of the room. Extend. Almost think of somebody pulling on those toes so you feel a weight pulling from your hip bones down towards your toes. 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's lift and lower those legs in unison, keeping the same amount of distance between the legs. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to circle out from here, moving the legs in unison, circling or tracing around a small object, maybe a tennis ball. Once you've done 5 traces in one direction, change it up and move in the opposite direction. Once you've done 5 traces, you're going to anchor your bottom leg. Slide the top leg along the inseam of the bottom leg, kicking up towards the ceiling, and then extend back out to your start position. Dragging to bend and kick, and then bending to drag and extend. I'm going to call that 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. You're going to come to that little boomerang shape on the mat. So you're going to connect your toes to the top end, your bottom arm to the top end, and you're going to bump your bum back. You're going to float the two limbs together, pausing along the midline before coming back up to your start position. So a nice little bit of work through the obliques, giving us that beautiful V definition through the trunk. I'm going to call that 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to clam line out from here. Set up your legs, bend the knees. Give me a small prop on the bottom arm. When you're ready, begin opening and closing through the legs, keeping the knees together. Make sure you're feeling those inner thighs. Feel that wrap around. Feel that work south of the belly button. Let's do 4, 3, 2. We're going to change it up. The next time you open the knees, lift the feet, close and down. Open, lift, close and down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep that diamond frame, drop the top knee and come back to your start position. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep that diamond frame between the legs. Float the top leg up to kick the ceiling and then tap the two big toes together. Try to maintain a relaxed face as the legs start speaking to you. So keep your face, your neck, and your arms nice and soft as you play. I'm going to call that 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, you're going to softly float your way onto the back. Make sure you sit up in the middle of the mat. Float your arms up to the ceiling, palms looking into the center line. Weight your shoulders into the mat and float your legs softly up to 90. Anchor the left leg, drop the right leg down and back to the start position. Either moving small or bringing that leg all the way down. Working with control, finding what works for you on the mat today. I'm going to call that 4, 3, 2. Last one, we're going to change sides. Hold the frame steady as you transition. Make sure that your shoulder blades are not coming up off the mat. Neckline is nice and long. Jawline is soft. No tension in the neck or the head. Let's do 2 more. Then you're going to come back to your start position. You're going to scoop to peel the shoulder blades off. You're going to reach through your fingertips and your toes and hold for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Peel back down to the mat, either keeping your arm position with the arms floating overhead as you play or tucking the hands, palms down underneath the bum as you crisscross pattern the legs, sweeping them down as far as you can and then crisscross patterning back to your start position. Let's just do 3 sets, moving within your range of motion. Make sure you soft through the neck and the jaw. Last one. We're going to take it to a little tailbone lift from here. Starting behind the 90 line, lift up to the ceiling and come back to your start position. Hands are either long and lengthened at your side, or you can keep them tucked underneath your bum for support. Make sure you're focusing on the coming back portion. So you really should feel that strain through the lower belly as you bring the legs back. Last one. Bend the knees, connect the soles of the feet to the mat. Slow crunch and hold. 1 to the side, or 1 to each side, 2 to the middle. Let's shoot for 3 sets. Big breath in to prepare. On the exhale, scoop to peel up. Inhale, bring it down. Come up on the left. Inhale, come down. 2 to the middle. Big breath in. 1 more to the middle. Big breath in. Come up on the right. Big breath in. Come back down. Come up on the left. Big breath in. Come up in the middle. Low. Big breath in. Come up in the middle. High. 1 more. Big breath in. Come up on the right. Big breath in. Come up on the left. Keep reaching through your fingers. Big inhale in. Come up low in the middle. Reach with your fingertips. Big inhale as you peel down one last time. Come up high in the middle. Morph straight into rolling like a ball, either keeping your feet hovering off the mat or tapping the soles of your feet softly to the mat to find your grounding before rounding out, rolling back as far as your shoulder blades and back up. Make sure that you're not bringing it onto the neck. You're going to use your last one to push into the hands and the feet. Drop your weight forward into the head, coming into a soft forward fold. You're going to bend and extend through the legs, trying to keep your hands or your fingertips firmly planted on the mat or playing higher up along the chain of your legs, modifying your movement where you need to. Last one. Softly peel up. Change your orientation on the mat, coming into a wide standing straddle, toes looking towards the edges of the mat, hands floating overhead in an active prayer position, and then coming to that beautiful little modified side lunge, bending one knee at a time, allowing the knee and the toe to look to the corner of your mat as you open up into a soft T-frame, and then systematically begin creeping the legs further and further apart so that you can feel those inner thighs working, almost pushing down through your hands as if you were resisting a weight. And just find a steady rhythm of your own. Once again, my pace is moderate, but you can speed it up or slow it down if you prefer. Last one. Square up through your feet. Open up as wide as you can. And softly see if you can connect your hands to the mat. Hands stacking underneath the shoulders. Take a big breath in, cross the right arm over the left. Take a soft twist to the left and pause here. Holding for maybe 10 seconds and really opening up those legs as wide as you can, keeping the feet squared and the weight placement equal between the balls and the heels of your feet. Come back to your start position, finding your stack underneath the shoulders. Big breath in. You're going to take the twist in the opposite direction, crossing the left hand over the right and taking a soft twist to the right. Reaching through those fingertips, check that the waist placement on the feet is equal, inner thighs engaged, core softly pulled in. Find your way back to your start position on the mat, maybe easing the way onto the fingertips. You're going to heel toe your feet in, come all the way in, heel toeing in, connecting the big toes and the ankles, hands to prayer, end off your practice for today. Thank you so much for coming out and playing. Hope you enjoyed today's class. Give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Remember to shoot me your comments and your feedback and to subscribe with your notifications on. Till tomorrow, keep it light.